Tanzania's empty refugee camps, there's a lesson that's been left for the rest of the world. The Burundian children who lived here were still learning basic maths, and yet, before being returned to their homeland, one wrote, "Don't forget me, we will be back." It's taken less than 10 years to prove them right.
And by the time they are finished calling your family, DRC and UNHCR staff will help you to the reception village.
Tanzania is reopening this camp because 1,000 Burundians are still arriving each day. Most say they're fleeing the government's militia and its attempts to crush or kill any opposition. Nearly 20 years ago, Burundians who feared for their lives came here. They were eventually repatriated, but now they're arriving again, and in most cases it's the same people coming back to the same camps. Perhaps the most poignant part is that they say that after trying years back in their homeland, they now consider this to be their home. Kagaya's wife and children were murdered 20 years ago during the last unrest. This time, he knew to flee to Tanzania straight away.
I saw 3 people being killed. They were murdered very cruelly in the area where I lived. They were killed because they were not members of the ruling party. I beg of those running this camp in Tanzania to help us live in peace and harmony. We are tired of running.
He's one of those being transferred to the reopened camps. It means he no longer must live in an overcrowded mass shelter at risk of cholera and flooding. Instead, he will finally get his own plot of land.
A huge difference. I can say I'm not a refugee, but I can tell you it's a relief even for us, because you can see the living conditions of how cramped the refugees are living in mass shelters. Now, when they move to Nduta, they will be allocated what we call family plots, and they can have some form of gardening and some sense of family unity that they never had in the mass shelters.
Some have been on a seemingly endless cycle of migration during their lives. And although Burundians once wrote a warning on a wall that they would be back, it's only their own children who may end up reading it. Dan Ashby, CCTV, in Tanzania.